Oh my God. All right, here we go. Let's have some fun. Regarding Bob Dylan's stealing of James Damiano songs. It's going to be a great episode. I recently wrote a document concerning Bob Dylan's stealing of James Damiano songs. The article focused on some key issues with the lawsuit. One was that of a common sense rule of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure stating that the judge's final verdict of the case must be consistent with the facts of the case. Now, the people that come to James Damiano's YouTube channel know, without any doubt, that the facts of the case are all in James Damiano's favor. They have a hard time understanding how the lawsuit, Bob Dylan's stealing of James Damiano's songs in federal court, could have been dismissed by Judge Simandl. Well, one thing you have to remember is that the lawsuit was never presented to a jury. Judge Simandl reviewed the facts of the case and decided to dismiss the lawsuit in summary judgment. So it was all subjective to Judge Simandl's opinion. Judge Simandl refused to let it go to a jury. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. How could it be that if all the facts of the case which are documented upon the record of the court are in favor of James Damiano, could Judge Simandl dismiss the case? Bob Dylan's stealing of James Damiano's songs. Especially given the fact that Bob Dylan or his lawyer, Orrin Snyder, did not have one bit of information to defend themselves with. Not one sentence, not one fact, not one word that would suggest that they had any kind of a defense. I invite any party, judge, lawyer, involved or not involved, to present any such fact or information. Dylan's only defense was to have federal magistrate Judge Joe B. Rosen rule in favor of Bob Dylan on a confidentiality order that designated all discovery materials that were produced in this litigation to be confidential. In other words, a gag order. James Damiano's contention was that Bob Dylan's lead attorney, Orrin Snyder, and the United States Federal District Court intentionally designed a judicial ploy to nefariously conceal the fact that Bob Dylan had no defense in Bob Dylan's stealing of James Damiano's songs. Dylan's plan was effective for over 27 years and deterred movie and streaming publishers from producing James Damiano's movie, 11 Years, Bob Dylan's stealing of James Damiano's songs. It also deterred book publishers from publishing James Damiano's book, 11 Years.
Would you say that the words were more important than the music?
The words are just as important as the music. There would be no music without the words.
Which do you do first, ordinarily?
The words.
Do you think there will ever be a time when you will paint or sculpt?
Oh, yes. Oh, sure.
Do you think there'll ever be a time when you'll be hung as a thief?
You weren't supposed to say that.
Many many times, but on those occasions when he would ask me, could I pass on something to Mr. Dillon, I may have said to him, I'll try and pass it along, or words to that effect. Just to place that in context, I want you to know that, because I'm a truthful person.
Do you recall ever giving Mr. Damiano your fax number?
Yes.
And when Mr. Dillon, how do you reach him?
I phone him.
At his home?
If he's in Los Angeles, yes. If he's on the road, I try and locate him that way.
Do you recall saying the following to Mr. Damiano, sir?
Is there a page reference that you're reading?
I have a 1/2 on it.
Is there a debate
I think it's number 144.
Okay, let me just put that in front of the witness.
Sure. You state at the top of the page, or at least it appears to that you state, my job here is to pass along information to Bob. Do you recall saying that, sir? Looking
Yes.
at the top. Okay. And Bob, of course, is Bob Dylan.
Yes.
And then you say, which I think I have. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. When you said that to Mr. Damiano, which I think I have, were you lying to him?
I was
Have. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. When you said that to Mr. Damiano, which I think I have, were you lying to him?
I was misstating the truth.
Midway, you say, well, let's just put it in context. James Damiano says, you do remember about a year ago when I was at work, about a year and a half ago, when I was at work, and I asked you if you knew of anything. Remember, you said Bob Dylan had the songs in his suitcase and that he was going to read them. And the transcript states you said, no, I never said that. Then James Damiano says, you don't remember saying that? And then you say, no, I did not say that. I remember in our conversation, because I checked my notes, that you said you gave some songs to a bus driver who claims he put them on Bob's bus. Did you say those things?
Did I say those things to Mr. Damiano?
Yes.
Yes.
And when you say I checked my notes, were you lying?
I was not speaking the truth, correct.
Okay. Do you contend that he was delusional? Are you telling the jury that Mr. Damiano was delusional? Yes or no? That I want the answer to that question, please, if you would be so kind. Yes or no? Was Mr. Damiano delusional?
In my opinion, Mr. Damiano was, at the time of these conversations, delusional. Under the subject of mistruths spoken to your client, during the course of these telephone conversations, he would frequently ask me to pass along information, ask questions about Bob, or to Bob about him.
Is a kind of a melodic character to this arc, more than just a set of shared pitches. What I will be doing shortly is I'll be leading you through an analysis, allowing you to hear how steel guitars actually projects this exact same arc as dignity.
Many times, but on those occasions when he would ask me, could I pass on something to Mr. Dylan, I may have said to him, I'll try and pass it along, 4 words to that effect.